Hello everyone, this is Kiana Mayfield from LibraLunaCenter.com and welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of June 5th through the 11th of 2017. And we have a full moon in Sagittarius beginning this Friday, June 9th. So, the start of this week, Monday, June 5th, we have the moon in Scorpio. As Venus in Aries is at its very last degree, 29 degrees of Aries, and Mercury is coming to its final stages of Taurus. And it begins to make a square to the nodal axis. This is Monday, is a very pressure cooker day, right? It is the final culmination of the energy we've been dealing with for the past few months now, right? At its fullest intensity. But with Venus in Aries at the very last degree, this is the master number of Aries, right? 29 degrees. It adds up to 11, the master number 11. So, Venus in Aries on the last degree as the moon is in Scorpio. This is about the battle, the war, the fight being over, right? It is about the ascension of the warrior within us. It is about cultivating who we've become over these past few months, right? As Venus was in Aries, as we prepare to step into a new chapter, right? A completely new chapter, completely new Venus chapter. We're coming out of the battle we've been dealing with since Venus went into Aries on February 3rd of 2017, right? The turmoil is coming to an end, right? Venus is preparing to shift into Taurus, where it is in its home sign, right? Taurus rules Venus, and so Venus in Taurus is domicile, right? It is easy, it is at home. And so on the same day, Monday, we have Mercury in the last degrees of Taurus, and it will be making a square to the nodal axis, the Leo-Aquarius nodal axis. So Mercury in Taurus has been all about coming to terms with what we do and do not like, what we do and do not want, right, in our lives, who we want to be, and what we want to build, right? Mercury is our perception of time. It is our perception. Saturn rules time, right? But Mercury is the perception of it. It is the filter of consciousness. It is the projection of the mind onto the reality, right? And so Mercury in Taurus, life has been at a steady, slow, rhythmic pace, right? It has been about each stepping stone, each stepping block, each element that needs to be reconciled within us, right? To build and to cultivate the new gardens within our hearts that we wish to see into full bloom. And Mercury in Taurus, squaring the nodal axis, is the clear-cut yes or no, right? The clear-cut inner decision, as the moon is in Scorpio as well, which will be activating this grand fixed cross in all of the fixed signs, right? We have something. We have the North Node in Leo, South Node in Aquarius, Mercury in Taurus, Moon in Scorpio, all of the fixed signs, all of the most powerful generators of energy, right? All coming together. And with the Moon and Mercury in these specific placements, right, as this happens, we're almost getting a glimpse of what's to come in 2018, right? When Jupiter will be in Scorpio and Uranus will be in Taurus, completely activating this fixed grand cross in the sky, right? The incarnation of this higher force of energy that is waiting to be brought onto the earth, right? And so with this energy, and we received this glimpse as well during the full moon in Scorpio, right? What we wanted to commit to, what needed to end, what needed to be purged, what needed to be put to rest within ourselves and in our environment in order to ascend to this higher vibration, this higher level in our lives. And Monday is very much a similar glimpse, because while the full moon in Scorpio, obviously the moon was in Scorpio, but the sun was in Taurus, activating this grand fixed cross in the sky. And now we have Mercury there. So we're coming to this intellectual understanding of what we do and do not want, what we do and do not desire, what we are choosing to commit to in our lives, right? What we value within ourselves. And how our minds are shifting and perceiving new, perceiving things in new ways, right? With a new perspective, a more substantial perspective, right? And so Monday is very much, you either like it or you don't. You either want it or you don't, right? And as you make that mental perceptual shift within you, your whole world changes, right? Now you can begin to move. Now you can begin to explore. As on Tuesday, we have Venus and Mercury moving, changing signs on the exact same day. So Venus moves into Taurus and Mercury moves into Gemini. And this is completely new territory, right? This is completely ending the story that we've been living in. The themes and the repetitive similar karmic knots, right, that we've been dealing with as Venus was in Aries and Mercury was in Taurus for over 2 months, right? Now we have Mercury in Gemini, its home placement, right? Because Gemini rules Mercury, so, and Taurus rules Venus. So both of these planets now are in domicile, which means they are in a very easy, harmonious energy, right? These planets can function in a way that is natural. While Venus was in Aries, we've almost, the way we loved, the way we valued ourselves was through almost needing to fight everything and everyone around you, right? Needing to push, needing to assert yourself, assert your will, and struggle, right? The struggle was there. The struggle with yourself, the struggle between yourself and other people, right? So it was more of a war-like aspect, right? Venus in Aries is about war. It is about the love of the battle, the love of the love of blood, the love of the fight, right? But it is a very passionate energy, and so we've been coming to terms with what we are really passionate about. But now Venus moving into Taurus is about solidifying that, right? It is about consolidating it into some concrete, substantial form, right? Making it have potential, right? Versus scattering the energy all over the place, not in a way that Gemini would, but needing to forcefully push, right? Push your way into a specific direction, right? And Mercury in Taurus has been very stubborn, been very fixed on a single issue of our lives, right? It has been very concrete, physical, tangible, and slow, right? Mercury moves slowly through Taurus because Taurus takes its time. And Venus moving into Taurus is now slowing down Venus, of course, slowing down, you know, the dramatic urge to assert yourself, and being at peace, right? Being at peace within yourself, being at peace in your physical body, you know, appreciating what is around you, what you have, what you can build. This is a dramatic shift from how things have been, right? There's less pressure on love, right? On the need to prove yourself, to assert yourself, to demonstrate your newfound identity to other people in your relationships and in whatever you're creating and building in your life, right? It's no longer about the struggle to find love or to find a new career or to make more money, right? It's not necessarily, I mean, we still have a directive force, right? Because Taurus is about the long-term potential of things, right? It is about the life force. So it becomes about life and love versus war. And how can we meet in the middle with that, right? How can we feel comfortable? How can we build a stable force in both our career aspects? Whatever we're creating has the potential to become a solid foundation of our lives, right? Become something that bears stability and fruitfulness in the long term. This goes for anything you're creating, whether it's a career, a relationship, or anything else, right? Money, of course. But also a lifestyle. Like, how do you want to live? It's about upgrading your desires, right? Because sometimes we can desire things that aren't necessarily in our best interest, right? So Venus in Aries was emphasizing that, right? It was emphasizing
I want what I want when I want it,
however I want it. So Venus in Taurus is about okay, well, what do I really want? Especially as Mars is in Cancer, right? Emphasizing this need to come to terms with our own feelings, what we really feel. And Mercury in Gemini, right? Communication becomes a whole lot more simpler, right? Communication comes at all sides. Communication speeds up, right? Life speeds up. Our mental perceptions of things speeds up. It becomes more busy, right? We are moving in, stepping into this busy bee energy as we have come come to terms with what we want to build. Now it's about building it, you know, contacting the people you need to contact in order to build it, in order to move forward, right? Having the conversations, picking up the books. And I just happen to be going to school as this happens, right? So life moves at a faster pace now, but we are more confident within ourselves. And we bring that solidness within us to our relationships, to our financial plans, right? We can move forward in a way that is solid, secure, stable, real. There's real life potential now, you know. The warrior now becomes the gardener. And anything we create now has the potential to be backed by a new level of self-confidence, a new level of security, a new level of sustenance and substance within ourselves, right? There's something very earthy about this energy. So it's becoming more sensual, it's becoming more grounded, right? More fixed, more solid. And Mars in Cancer is the emotional readiness to confront our true feelings, right? Mars in Cancer is almost getting a glimpse of what's going to happen in the summer, right? So even though no other planets except Mars are in Cancer, we're getting a taste of what we're going to experience over the latter part of June and July, right? Because July will be kind of a crazy month. I'll be back to discuss that, but Mars in Cancer is about this need to express our heartfelt emotions, right? What we really feel, what we dream about, right? Under the covers, coming home to ourselves. And from Wednesday through Thursday, from June 7th through the 8th, we have the moon moving into Sagittarius, and it will be opposing Mercury. And Venus will be making an exact sextile to Mars, 2 degrees, right? And the sun will be in an exact quincunx to Pluto. So there's a lot of stimulation in the air. We're becoming more social, becoming more busy into this new reality, right? Into this new twin we're discovering. As our mental perceptions have shifted, right? Our reality is shifting right in front of our eyes. And this is about exploring concepts that are foreign to us, right? As the moon is in Sagittarius, to our normal way of perceiving reality, of perceiving everything and everyone around us, right? Our relationships, how we communicate, everything is changing. Everything is shifting. Everything is being remolded in a sense. And the entire way you look at your life, the entire way you look at the activities you're doing on a day-to-day level, right, is changing. And you want to be open to that. And the way to be open to that is to connect with new people, to connect with a new environment, a new social environment. And with the sun and quincunx to Pluto, this is emphasizing this, right? As the sun is urging us, as the sun in Gemini is urging us to, yes, become this new twin, but also align this new sense of destiny, right? This new sense, this new twin, right? We've discovered, or we're flipping back to, because we already knew it was there. It was just under the covers, right? So everything in our reality needs to shift to this new twin's mental perception. Everything needs to, this is a time of needing to adjust. So it can be a little frustrating because you realize how much of your current reality, how much of your current self, even your current skill sets, your current communication level, yeah, it needs to be improved, right? Even how you handle your own power, as Pluto is in Capricorn retrograde, right, making this aspect. And the way to improve your level of power, your abilities, right, is through connecting with something completely new, is through connecting with a new environment, a new set of people, refining your abilities to communicate, to express yourself, that are aligned with this new level of self-expression that we have discovered, right, with our new mental perception. And Venus and Mars will be helping this aspect along. So they will be in sextile to each other. It is a waning sextile because Venus is behind Mars. So this is a harmonious aspect, right? This is reconnection, because more so than connecting per se with or pursuing something new, it's more about reconnecting with what's right in front of you, right? Because Mars is in Cancer, which rules, you know, our history, which rules our emotional womb-like aspects, right? It rules our home, it rules our souls, right? So, and Venus in Taurus is about the soil, the roots under the earth, the Earth's history, right? Instead of the psychic, emotional, astral history of humanity, which Cancer rules, the psychic, the stuff that creates karma, right? The emotional attachments. Taurus rules the solid substance, the physical, biological development, the history of the earth. And if you consider Mars as the directing force for the masculine energy on our planet, and Venus as the directing force of the feminine, we're coming back into contact, right? We're coming back into reorganization, right? We are helping each other where we are personally, right? As the masculine energy gets more in touch with its feelings, gets more in touch with its psychic dreams. It returns home, right? He returns home. The masculine energy is in Cancer. Mars in Cancer is about the return home. And Venus in Taurus, the feminine energy is finding its home within, right? It's finding its own groundedness, right? It's becoming the Mother Earth, right? Herself. And these two planets in sextile to each other This is about working in union for a greater purpose, right? This is our own need, our own emotional need with Venus and Taurus for substance, for groundedness, for the appreciation of the body, for depth even, but not emotional depth, more depth in the roots of ourselves, right? We are standing connected, connected to the earth, to ourselves, to our roots. And it coincides with this drive to get to the root of our own emotional core, right? To get to the nucleus of what we really feel. As Cancer is a cardinal sign, so it is in a single point of direction, and the single point of direction is within. It is back to home, back to our center. It is the return to Leo, right? And if you pay attention to the aspects made between Venus and Mars, you can see how this plays out in our relationships. So this is a cycle, right? And this aspect specifically is about healing the tension that was produced from the Venus-Mars square, which happened in August 2016, when Venus was in Virgo, squaring over to Mars in Sagittarius. We had this need for purity. We had this need to clean ourselves, right? And the challenging creative tension, right? The pool, the lack of harmony that was produced from the square to Mars in Sagittarius, which was, I don't really care what I'm exploring as long as I'm exploring something new, right? I'm gonna climb this mountain, no matter how dirty or imprudent it really is, right? That happened in August of 2016, and this tug of war between the need for purity and the need to explore something new, to explore foreign lands, right? To go on an adventure, to expand beyond ourselves, beyond our current horizons, but also the need to fix ourselves with Venus and Virgo. There's been a lot of tension between these two aspects since August of 2016, and we are finally coming to this point where we are able to work together now, right? Instead of at cross purposes, it is about healing this. It is about healing the tension. It is about recognizing our differences, recognizing where we've been individually, and helping each other along the way, right? Helping each other to return to the core, to return to the nucleus of ourselves, as Venus is in Taurus and Mars is in Cancer, both emphasizing the need to return to our roots, right? This is also a great aspect for, I'm talking about this a lot because it's going to be throughout most of June, right? This aspect will be a big part playing in June, and it's a very creative aspect. So what you can use it for, not only in your relationships, is it is great for bringing substance to anything ephemeral, right? Anything creative, anything that has remained a dream within you, as you are bringing it to the surface, right? As you are returning to your roots, to your creative talents and abilities with Mars and Cancer. This is great for learning how to finance your ideas, right? Learning how to even charge for what you are creating in the world. Charging for your creative imagination, right? For anything which is natural within you. Sorry. Okay, and so finally on Friday we have June 9th. We have the full moon in Sagittarius, 18 degrees, and it will be conjuncting Saturn in Sagittarius retrograde, and also Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius. And it will be in square to Neptune in Pisces, as the Sun in Gemini is conjuncting asteroid Ceres. So, and as that happens, Sagittarius's ruling planet, Jupiter, is finally going direct in Libra, 13 degrees, right? Stations direct on the same day of this full moon. And this is like a big epiphany, right? This is a big signpost that says things are moving forward now, right? The journey is outlined for us, right in front of us. Relationships can finally move forward. Certain doors are coming to the point where we can unlock them at long last, right? Things that have been seemingly stuck. Sorry, let me just close this window. Okay. Sorry. Things that have been seemingly stuck on one single issue, right? One single relationship, even one single path. Like, you can't move forward beyond this point. Like, there's no door that is potentially around, that is potentially available even. Now things can move forward. Now things open up again. Now things are unlocking. The journey is outlined. And with this full moon in Sagittarius conjuncting Saturn, as Saturn is approaching, getting closer to the Earth, right? This is the need to craft our own story. This is the need to craft our own hero's journey, right? To become, before we can potentially travel down this this journey, this path, this adventure, this mountain, right? Before we can climb the mountain, which is more emphasized with Capricorn, but Sagittarius sees the mountain, sees the way forward, right? It's pointing with its arrow. This is the vision, this is the journey, this is the destination, right? This is where we're going. This is where we're directing our power. This is where we're directing our energy, right? And so, with the moon conjuncting Saturn, before we can traverse this path, as we are traversing this path, we have to become our own hero, right? We have to become the hero. That is why it's called the hero's journey. We have to shift our perceptions and get rid of old belief systems, outmoded perceptions, ways of perceiving life, right? That have kept us enclosed in this little bubble, that has kept us enclosed on this single path, a single journey. Jupiter stationing direct is about opening your mind to the possibilities, right? Opening the door to the people that will be a part of this new destination, of this new journey. And Saturn coming closer and closer to the Earth, which will happen next week, exactly 24 degrees. This is about Saturn being close to the Earth is about incarnating, crystallizing our highest selves, our highest integral selves, right? The crystallization of our purpose into our physical reality, into our lives. And that comes by way of taking responsibility for our lives, but also not just on the physical plane, but also on the belief, mental, perceptual plane, right? This is taking responsibility for what we believe in, the belief systems we've inherited, as well as the belief systems we've adopted and we've allowed to control our reality, right? As we shift, right? As we shift that, as we come more, as we dive deeper into this need to explore our Black Moon Lilith, even as Black Moon Lilith is in Sagittarius conjuncting this full moon, and it's in square to Neptune as well. So this is the need to come to terms with, to objectively, right? Objectively, full moon is always coming to the core of our truth, right? It is always bringing culmination, bringing things to light objectively, getting to the truth objectively. And the truth is, what do we desire? What do we desire to create? Black Moon, Lilith, and Sagittarius, right? We have to follow our instincts. We have to get back to nature. I always think of Black Moon, Lilith as
no symbol.
I always think of Black Moon Lilith as being a force that is more closer to nature, to to the natural impulse of life than any other planet or point, right? Because desire is the overriding, impeding force of nature in order to get us to experience something, right? In order to get us to live, right? To reach down into the crevices of any given experience, right? To come to terms with our own power. It is what is most suppressed within all of humanity, right? This matriarchal force of desire. And with the full moon in Sagittarius conjuncting Black Moon Lilith, in between, it is in between, on the midpoint of Saturn and Black Moon Lilith. So where have we, whether consciously or subconsciously, been almost acting as, in a negative way, our own father figures, by dampening our own desires, right? By throwing cold water over the fire, even by suppressing, caging, keeping in a box our own innate natural instincts, what we innately want to experience through our own communication with our own power. Black Moon Lilith, right? And Sagittarius also is emphasizing this return to nature instinct. As it is the centaur. But this is about breaking out of our own box, right? Breaking out of our own limitations. And with it in square to Neptune, yeah, there's always a two-way street with Neptune, right? You can go down the delusional path, but the delusional path, what makes something a delusion in and of itself is if Saturn does not allow it to be, right? And the only way Saturn does not allow the dream in Neptune to be something real, to be something manifested, is if you are not taking authority, control over your own Saturn, if you have not consolidated the Saturnian lessons within your own natal chart, right? That is when the door is closed to your dream, right? That is when the vision becomes a delusion, because it is not physical, it is not real, it is not tangible, and it can't be tangible because there's a block there, there's a wall there, because you're not taking control of your own Saturn. And so, with it in square to Neptune, the full moon, the dream is there, right? The dream is real. The dream is real if you believe it is, right? And however much of the dream you're able to manifest comes down to how much responsibility you take for your belief systems. It's about, as the sun is in Gemini, right, conjuncting Ceres in Gemini. This is nurturing, healing the fragmented parts of our minds that live in one world versus the other, right? That play as one twin versus the other, that splits us down the middle almost, and creates this cognitive dissonance to, on one half, you want to experience freedom. You want to experience the life of your dreams. You want to go down this new path, this new adventure, this new twins side of the story, right? On the other, you have these, this need to stay within this logical, formulaic equation that you've always lived in, right? And that is based on the belief systems you've inherited, how you perceive reality, right? And this full moon is about healing the fragmented parts of ourselves, right? Nurturing it and assimilating the bigger picture into the equation, right? The bigger picture is anything we believe it to be, right? This is all perceptual, right? Our perceptions create the magic, because as you perceive, so shall you do, and so shall you reap, right? If you don't perceive that you are able to manifest something, if you don't perceive that you will ever be able to experience whatever is in your mind, right? Whatever you deem a vision, a dream, an ideal, right? If you cannot perceptually bring it into something that can actually be experienced by you, being where you are now, who you are now, in the circumstances you are now, knowing the characteristics, the psychographics, the demographics of who and where you are now, right? If you cannot expand your horizons, expand your mind to include this vision, that is when it becomes a delusion. And so the challenge is not manifesting the dream in and of itself. The challenge is in believing you can, right? In believing that it's possible. And the full moon in Sag with Jupiter going direct is, okay, it's splitting the journey in half, right? You can either go down one path or another, and the path is determined by what you believe yourself to be capable of. And Jupiter and Libra stationing direct, the people that will be a part of whatever journey, whatever destination is conceivable to you, will be attracted to you, right? Will be coming in. It's opening the door now. You know, on the hero's journey, there's always allies that we need on the journey. You know, no journey is a single event, right? it's about the assimilation of the parts to create the greater whole, because Saturn being retrograded, it's stationed retrograde on the galactic center. So this is the higher purpose of our incarnational existence, what we incarnated on this planet for, into this universe for, right? Our sole purpose. And this is especially emphasized because Jupiter in Libra is about connecting to the people, the souls, the tribe, the communities that will be a part of our greater destiny, a part of our greater purpose, because the galactic center was so emphasized during this year, right? And it's stationing on the galactic center in Sagittarius, which Jupiter rules. It's pointing to the need to connect with our soul tribes. Okay, so that is the full moon, right? It is the pursuit of our truth, of our what we believe and deem to be true, by way of our perceptions, by way of our beliefs, by way of our the assimilation of both fragments of our minds, right? We are healing the split between the twins and coming together as a holistic being and looking at the whole destination, right? The parts of ourselves that lives in the dark and the parts of ourselves that lives in the light needs to be integrated in order for the whole story to make sense. Okay, so on the weekend from June 10th through the 11th, we have the moon moving through Capricorn. It will go over Pluto, it will square Jupiter, and it will square, Uranus and Aries and whatnot. Activating the cardinal grand cross. Anytime you have the moon in a cardinal sign, it's activating the cardinal grand cross. But as that happens, Mercury will be coming into a trine with Jupiter, and the sun will be steadily on its way to coming into an opposition with Saturn, which will happen next week, I believe, on Sunday. No, not Sunday, Tuesday. I believe. And so this is an emotionally intense weekend, because anytime there's a moon Pluto conjunction, I find that the energy tends to be very extreme. And with the moon in Capricorn, after it had just conjuncted Saturn in the full moon, during the full moon, this is about the due diligence, right? It is about the hardworking, get in our gear and saddle up, right? This is about living into what we say we're going to do. And with Mercury in trine to Jupiter, Mercury in Gemini and trine to Jupiter in Libra, of course, this is about our social contacts, our social environment, but also this is our lower and our higher mind, right? Mercury rules the lower mind, Jupiter rules the higher mind. And these two are working together now. So as we see, as Jupiter has just stationed direct, right? As we see the higher vision of our lives and who needs to be in our lives, who we want to be in our lives, and who needs to come into our lives in order to, get to this destination in Sagittarius, right? Get to this vision, this new adventure. We look at the little details, right? We look at the little details of our lives, every single little thing, right? Mercury in Gemini is about, the raw data. Not the specific thing as in Virgo, right? But everything, right? It's about everything, looking at everything, every little piece, every little tidbit, every little piece of gossip, right? Every little piece of information. It's important and it needs to be assimilated, right? And these two are working together because now it's about expanding by way of our lower minds coming into harmony with our higher minds, our normal, everyday, busy bee reality coming into harmony with our grand vision, destination, our soul's path, our higher evolution, right? Our higher purpose. It's about the integration of the mind and the higher self. And with the sun in Gemini, getting ready to oppose Saturn retrograde. This will be when Saturn is directly on, is directly conjuncting the Earth, right? The Earth is always opposing the sun. And so whatever is, especially outer planets, as they are retrograde and opposing the sun, they are simultaneously conjuncting the Earth. And so this is about, okay, the hard look at where we are now, and where we need to go, what we need to do to get to the next level, right? This is about recognizing our limitations, recognizing our weaknesses, which we already got a glimpse of at the end of May when Mars was opposing Saturn. But this is about us innately now, right? Our soul potential as it is the sun, right? Our spiritual point, our phase of evolution, right? We are looking at where we are in our current phase of evolution, and before Saturn goes direct in August, right? Before we get to that point, now's the time to integrate, to incarnate, to assimilate, to crystallize, to consolidate this Saturnian energy and make it something we can use, something coming to terms, you know, with our own power, our own, where we rub up against authority, where we rub up against reality, right? Our minds can go a million miles per minute, right? It can go anywhere as the sun is in Gemini, right? The possibilities are endless, but we have certain limitations. We have certain walls, and we have, this is about focusing on the most essential elements of our purpose, right? And what needs to be integrated in order for our reality to match that picture. So it's about becoming our own heroes. It's about becoming the hero of the story we are trying to tell through our lives, right? Because the only way we're going to see the dream, the only way we're going to get to the end destination, the truth of our soul's purpose for being here, right? The only way is if we become our own heroes, if we become the hero on the hero's journey, and we craft the story as it goes. And that comes with taking responsibility for our beliefs, taking responsibility for the journey we're walking, right? So I am way past the time I planned to be here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon. I had fun over the weekend, right, with the Sun, Jupiter trine and Venus, Uranus conjunction. I hope you guys had a positive and uplifting portal that was set into motion during these past few days, right? And I hope you're steadily moving towards what you really want, right? Because that's the whole point. That's the whole point. And it's all about exploring. It's all about experimentation. It's all about discovering new, different, higher level versions of yourself through these experimentations, through these new discoveries, through becoming busy and engaged with your life again, right? It's about becoming alive again. And the full moon in Sagittarius is coming back to our own truth again, right? And things are going to make sense more and more as we move forward now. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you all next week.